Electrostatic discharge, or ESD, is the sudden transfer of electric charge between two objects. In personal computers, electrostatic charges can build up due to friction from the spinning hard drive, air movement caused by the fan motor, at contact with other charged objects. If these charges are not dissipated, they can damage sensitive electronic components within the computer. Grounding provides a path for electrostatic charges to flow away from the computer and into the earth. This is achieved by connecting the computer's chassis to a grounded electrical outlet. While grounding is primarily important for safety, preventing electric shock to users, it also plays a role in ESD dissipation. By providing a low resistance path to ground, electrostatic charges can be safely discharged without damaging computer components. In addition to grounding, other factors that can affect ESD in personal computers include humidity. Dry air allows charges to build up more easily. Certain materials, such as plastics, can generate electrostatic charges more readily, and environmental factors such as airflow and dust can contribute to ESD. Manufacturers include warnings about proper grounding because it is essential for both safety and ESD dissipation. Without proper grounding, the computer may be susceptible to electrostatic damage, malfunction, or operate erratically, or pose an electric shock hazard. Grounding is necessary for personal computers not only for safety but also for the dissipation of electrostatic charges. Manufacturers include grounding warnings to ensure proper functionality and prevent damage to sensitive electronic components. Therefore, ensure that the computer is connected to a properly grounded outlet. When working inside a computer, take precautions to minimize ESD risk. This can include using an anti-static wrist strap connected to the computer chassis, working on an anti-static mat, and avoiding working in environments with low humidity. It's also good practice to handle components by their edges and avoid touching the integrated circuits or connectors directly. When transporting components, use anti-static bags to prevent charge buildup. Always unplug the computer from the electrical outlet before performing any maintenance or repairs. This eliminates the risk of electric shock and provides a safe environment for working on the computer. Check the power supply. Ensure that the power supply is properly grounded. The power supply is responsible for converting AC voltage from the wall outlet to DC voltage for the computer components. The ground connection in the power supply is essential for directing any straight currents to ground. Verify that the ground pin on the power cord is intact and that the outlet is properly grounded. Test the outlet. Use an outlet tester to verify that the electrical outlet is correctly wired and grounded. An outlet tester can identify common wiring problems such as reverse polarity, open ground, or hot neutral reversal. If the outlet is not properly grounded, consult a qualified electrician to correct the wiring. Consider using a surge protector or uninterruptible power supply or UPS. A surge protector can help protect the computer from voltage spikes and surges that can damage components. A UPS provides battery backup power in the event of a power outage, allowing the computer to shut down gracefully and preventing data loss. Many surge protectors and UPS units also include grounding protection. Be aware of the environment. Avoid placing the computer on carpets or other materials that can generate static electricity. Keep the area around the computer clean and free of dust. Dust can accumulate inside the computer and contribute to ESD problems. Regularly clean the inside of the computer with compressed air to remove dust and debris. Check the chassis grounding. Ensure that the computer chassis is properly grounded. The chassis should be connected to the ground wire in the power cord. Check the connection between the chassis and the power supply to ensure that it is secure and free of corrosion. Use shielded cables. Use shielded cables for connecting peripherals to the computer. Shielded cables help to reduce electromagnetic interference, (ME), and radio frequency interference, (RFI), which can contribute to ESD problems. Ensure that the cables are properly connected and that the shielding is intact. Static electricity is more prevalent in dry environments. Use a humidifier to increase the humidity level in the room. A humidity level of 40% to 60% is ideal for reducing static electricity. Regular cleaning of the computer's exterior and surrounding area is important. Use a damp cloth to wipe down the surfaces, which can help to remove dust and other particles that contribute to static buildup. Ensure the computer is off and unplugged before cleaning. Always disconnect the power cord before opening a computer case or handling internal components. This is important for safety reasons and to prevent electrical shock. When working inside the computer, consider using a self-grounding mat. These mats are designed to dissipate static electricity and provide a safe working surface for sensitive electronic components. When handling computer components, avoid wearing clothing made of synthetic materials such as nylon or polyester. These materials can generate static electricity. Instead, wear clothing made of natural fiber such as cotton. Proper grounding is a key element in preventing ESD damage to computer components. Always ensure that the computer is properly grounded and take precautions to minimize the risk of static electricity. If you are unsure about any aspect of grounding, consult a qualified electrician or computer technician. The effectiveness of grounding can be influenced by several factors, including the grounding system of the building, the quality of the electrical wiring, and the presence of other electrical equipment in the area. In some cases, it may be necessary to install additional grounding measures to ensure adequate protection against ESD. Check the power supply specifications. The power supply should meet safety standards and be certified by a recognized testing laboratory. A high-quality power supply will provide better protection against voltage fluctuations and surges, which can reduce the risk of ESD damage. Be careful of proximity to other devices. Avoid placing the computer near other electrical devices that can generate electromagnetic interference (EMI). EMI can induce voltage spikes in the computer's circuits, which can increase the risk of ESD damage. Keep the computer away from power cords, transformers, and other sources of EMI. Keep the computer well ventilated. Overheating can increase the risk of ESD damage. Ensure that the computer is well ventilated and that the cooling fans are working properly. Regularly clean the cooling fans to remove dust and debris that can impede airflow. If you suspect that the computer has been damaged by ESD, it is important to have it inspected by a qualified technician. ESD damage can be difficult to detect, but a technician can use specialized equipment to identify damaged components. If the computer has been damaged by ESD, it may be necessary to replace the damaged components. When replacing components, be sure to use high-quality components that meet safety standards. Consider whole house surge protection. For comprehensive protection against power surges, consider installing a whole house surge protector. A whole house surge protector can protect all of the electrical devices in the home from voltage spikes and surges. This is especially important in areas with frequent thunderstorms or unreliable power grids. When connecting external devices to the computer, such as printers, scanners, or external hard drives, use high-quality cables and connectors. Low-quality cables and connectors can be more susceptible to EMI and ESD. Ensure that the cables are properly shielded and that the connectors are securely attached. Check for loose connections. Regularly check the connections between the computer and its peripherals to ensure that they are tight and secure. Loose connections can increase the risk of EMI and ESD. If you find any loose connections, tighten them or replace the cables. Do not ignore warning signs. If the computer is experiencing frequent crashes, freezes, or other unexplained problems, it may be a sign of ESD damage. Have the computer inspected by a qualified technician to determine the cause of the problems. Even with proper grounding, ESD can still occur. However, by taking the precautions outlined above, you can significantly reduce the risk of ESD damage and protect the computer and its components. These practices are not only beneficial for safety and ESD protection, but can also contribute to the overall reliability and longevity of the computer. Regular maintenance and attention to these details can prevent unexpected problems and ensure optimal performance. It's important to remember that ESD can affect various parts of the computer, including the motherboard, CPU, memory, and other sensitive components. The cumulative effect of small ESD events over time can lead to gradual degradation of these components, eventually causing them to fail. By taking a proactive approach to ESD protection, you can minimize the risk of long-term damage and extend the lifespan of the computer. If the computer is located in an industrial or commercial environment, additional grounding measures may be required. Industrial and commercial environments often have higher levels of EMI and static electricity, which can increase the risk of ESD damage. Consult a qualified electrician or electrical engineer to determine the appropriate grounding measures for the specific environment. When installing new electrical equipment in the home, such as lighting fixtures or appliances, ensure that the equipment is properly grounded. Improperly grounded equipment can create a ground loop, which can increase the risk of ESD damage. A ground loop occurs when there are multiple paths to ground, creating circulating currents that can induce voltage spikes in the computer's circuits. To prevent ground loops, ensure that all electrical equipment is grounded to a common ground point. If you are unsure about how to properly ground electrical equipment, consult a qualified electrician. Keep the computer's software up to date. Software updates often include bug fixes and security patches that can improve the stability and reliability of the computer. Software problems can sometimes mimic the symptoms of ESD damage, so it's important to keep the software up to date. Use a reliable operating system. A reliable operating system can help to prevent software problems that can mimic the symptoms of ESD damage. Choose an operating system that is known for its stability and security. Avoid running unnecessary programs in the background. Unnecessary programs can consume system resources and increase the risk of software problems. Close any programs that are not being used to free up system resources. Monitor the computer's performance. Regularly monitor the computer's performance to detect any problems early on. Use system monitoring tools to track CPU usage, memory usage, and disk activity. If you notice any unusual activity, investigate the cause of the problem. Keep the computer's BIOS up to date. The BIOS is the basic input-output system, which is the firmware that controls the computer's hardware. BIOS updates often include bug fixes and performance improvements. Check the manufacturer's website for BIOS updates and install them according to the instructions. If you are not comfortable installing BIOS updates, consult a qualified technician. Proper grounding is an essential aspect of computer maintenance and safety. By following the tips outlined above, you can protect the computer from ESD damage and ensure its proper operation. Regular attention to these details can help to extend the lifespan of the computer and prevent costly repairs. Moreover, a properly grounded computer reduces the risk of electrical shock, ensuring a safer environment for users. Always prioritize safety when working with electrical equipment and consult a qualified professional if you have any doubts or concerns about grounding or ESD protection. Staying informed and proactive about these issues can save time, money, and potential hazards in the long run. Grounding is a critical component of electrical safety, and understanding its importance in computer systems is vital for both personal and professional use. It is an investment in the longevity and reliability of the technology relied upon every day. The principles of grounding and ESD protection are based on fundamental laws of physics and electrical engineering. A deeper understanding of these principles can help to appreciate the importance of grounding and to make informed decisions about electrical safety. Ensure all cables and connectors are in good condition. Frayed or damaged cables can compromise shielding and grounding, increasing the risk of ESD. Replace any cables that show signs of wear or damage. Verify that all connectors are securely attached and free from corrosion. Corrosion can impede the flow of electricity and reduce the effectiveness of grounding. Inspect the power cord regularly. A power cord is the primary connection to the electrical grid and is essential for grounding. Check the power cord for any signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or frayed wires. If the power cord is damaged, replace it immediately. Be careful when working with liquid spills. Liquid spills can cause short circuits and damage computer components. If liquid spills on the computer, immediately turn off the power and unplug the computer from the electrical outlet. Allow the computer to dry completely before attempting to turn it on again. Consider using a keyboard cover. A keyboard cover can help to protect the keyboard from dust, dirt, and spills. It can also help to reduce the risk of ESD by providing a barrier between the keyboard and the user. Regularly clean the mouse and mouse pad. A dirty mouse and mouse pad can accumulate static electricity. Regularly clean the mouse and mouse pad with a damp cloth to remove dust and dirt. Avoid using the computer during thunderstorms. Thunderstorms can generate high voltage surges that can damage computer components. If possible, avoid using the computer during thunderstorms or unplug it from the electrical outlet. Use a power conditioner. A power conditioner can help to regulate the voltage and current supply to the computer. It can also filter out noise and interference from the electrical grid. A power conditioner can help to protect the computer from voltage spikes, surges, and other power problems. Test the grounding system periodically. The grounding system should be tested periodically to ensure that it is functioning properly. Use a ground tester to measure the resistance of the grounding system. The resistance should be low, typically less than 5 ohms. If the resistance is high, consult a qualified electrician to inspect the grounding system. Document all maintenance and repairs. Keep a record of all maintenance and repairs performed on the computer. This can help to track any problems and to identify potential issues early on. Include the date of the maintenance or repair, a description of the work performed, and any parts that were replaced. Train users on proper grounding procedures. Train users on proper grounding procedures and the importance of ESD protection. Provide training on how to use anti-static wrist straps, anti-static mats, and other ESD protection devices. Emphasize the importance of handling computer components carefully and avoiding the generation of static electricity. Regularly review and update the grounding and ESD protection procedures. Technology is constantly evolving, so it's important to regularly review and update the grounding and ESD protection procedures. Keep up to date with the latest industry standards and best practices. Consult with qualified electricians, electrical engineers, and computer technicians to ensure that the grounding and ESD protection procedures are effective and up to date. By implementing these additional measures, it can further minimize the risk of ESD damage and ensure the safe and reliable operation of the computer. Remember, a comprehensive approach to grounding and ESD protection involves a combination of hardware, software, and procedural measures.